Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast, here with my co-host.
Everybody's favorite Seth Rollins simp, the boy Horn.
You said Seth Rollins Sith? What you said?
Simp.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. Was... Did you already have that pre-planned or that just came out?
Absolutely not. I was just looking at a picture of Seth Rollins and I just figured go with it.
Hey everybody, welcome. Another new episode. Today is crunch time for us, real. We have SmackDown yesterday, WrestleMania tonight, WrestleMania 1. Then we got 2, followed by Monday Night Raw. It's a jam-packed weekend. Stand and delivers right after we finish recording this. It's a lot. It's a lot of wrestling this weekend. It's a great time to be a fan. Me and the boy Harm don't even know how we're going to get everything done. But again,
Inject the wrestling heroin into my veins.
We're going to do our best to keep this one short so we could jump right in and catch up on the next show.
Yeah, absolutely. So last night's SmackDown, the Go Home SmackDown, was a very promo-heavy show, but it was still very entertaining.
Okay.
So we'll just jump right into it. The show kicks off with my, I guess, what do you, when you're sipping on somebody, what do you call them? Like Seth Rollins just comes out. Seth Rollins comes out, beautiful suit. He had on a 3-colored gold butterfly, beautiful suit. Comes out, and he essentially cuts his version of the pipe bomb. He sits down in the middle of the ring, CM Punk style, and he starts. And those dogs are going crazy. He starts cutting a promo on Punk and Roman. And I don't want to say it was a lot of the same things, but his promo was really, really good last night. He starts talking about how Punk doesn't love the fans. He made an AEW reference. He said if Punk was gone for 10 years, but when he came back to professional wrestling, he didn't come to a WWE ring. He alluded to his time in AEW, and he alluded to Punk only came back to professional wrestling because Tony Khan gave him a bunch of money. And then he goes, when that didn't work out, the only reason he came back here is because he got a bunch of money. And he doesn't think that he embodies what the industry should be. Then he turns his thing to Roman Reigns, and he goes, for years, and this is a lot of what I've been saying, for years, Seth was always viewed as not Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. He makes the reference to the guys in the back, and he's talking about Vince. He's like, he wanted Roman Reigns to be the next version of John Cena. Mm-hmm. And they didn't say that he couldn't do it, but he said, I was the one that carried this company on my back and made all the shows and elevated this industry and this company to where it is today. And it wasn't Roman Reigns. It was a really effective segment. I still say this man tells no lies. He needs to win tonight. I know he's not going to win, but I would love it if Seth Rollins walked away with this win because he needs it more than anybody else.
Yeah, we agreed on this point. Roman, he can take an L. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't hurt him or his mystique whatsoever. CM Punk doesn't need it either. He's gonna stay in the main event picture or whatever. But for a certain level of credibility, Seth Rollins need this win, especially if we're talking about that he's kind of left out the top 5. If we're counting Cody, Roman, CM Punk, I don't even know who else we would put.
I think he's 4. I think Rollins is 4, but he's a far. But the distance between the top 3 and 4 is huge.
I would argue that he's maybe 5, and the reason I say that is because Cena's here right now.
Oh, okay.
And Cena right away, as soon as he returned, he got propelled up. So I would argue he's 5th, and that's saying something. That a guy who hasn't even been here consistently, who just came back, just returned, is already ahead of you in the totem pole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he definitely, we agree on that. He definitely needs this win tonight.
Yeah, it was a really effective segment. Rollins is doing great work right now. I still think Punk's gonna win, but I want him to win. Then we get the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and this was extremely fun. Like in years past, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal has been the thing fans look forward to the least on WrestleMania or WrestleMania weekend. This was extremely fun. You had all your tag teams. You had the Creeds. You had Chad Gable. You had Mello Dome Miz. You had the LWO. And we made this reference as we were watching it. They were telling mini stories inside of the battle royal. It wasn't just punch, kick, elbow, drop kicks. They were telling mini stories. And you pointed this out right away, how Santos Escobar was talking to Rey Fenix right away as soon as it started, and Humberto pulled him away, like, "What are you doing?" You had Chad Gable in the middle of it, in the middle of getting attacked by all of the luchadors because of what's happening on Raw and with the Grande Americano.
You had the Carlito and
You had the Carlito and R-Truth, which is hilarious.
Judgment Day reunited real quick, and then quickly he got rid of him. He got eliminated. You had Miz save his
sacrifice
himself, which is not Miz-like. That was pretty awesome to see. He sacrificed himself for Carmelo Hayes. Which...
No, it was awesome. Right. Sorry, we're talking about Miz. You gotta hit them. You gotta hit them with the catchphrases. If you're gonna use the catchphrase, use the catchphrase.
I didn't even realize I used the catchphrase.
You said it was awesome.
No, I got it. I got it. I got it after the fact.
But we'll get into a really fun match. The final four came down to Carmelo, Rey Fenix, Santos Escobar, and wasn't Santos Escobar. I'm sorry, Andrade.
Yep.
And who was the fourth? I don't remember who the fourth one was. Anyways, we thought, oh, was it Austin Theory? No, it doesn't matter. No. So, the final couple people, it was Carmelo, Andrade, and Phoenix. Let's just start from those three. And they were doing some really good stuff. Phoenix is so good in the ring, so fluid, I don't know if it's working in WWE because he's doing a lot of the same stuff he did in AEW. Mm-hmm. Maybe the presentation here is better. Mm-hmm. Maybe the speed at which he moves is just so much faster than everybody else. Mm-hmm. But he looks like he's flying out there. Mm-hmm. We thought Andrade should win. We thought it would elevate him. Yep. It would have something to do with him. Yep. It came down to Andrade and Carmelo. And we were surprised. Carmelo got the win after some really good moves. Carmelo hit him with the springboard cutter he does. He didn't hit him with Mello Don't Miss, which is the leg drop off the top rope. But they had like a little 2 or 3 minute mini match in the middle of it to get the thing. And Mello got the win. And I was really surprised. I was really shocked. You're elevating Carmelo. Carmelo, his name is Carmelo Hayes. You're elevating Carmelo. Yeah. And you're talking about a 2-time NXT champion, the guy who I've always called Black Shawn Michaels. He just has everything you want in a superstar. I love the fact that he won. It sucks for Andrade because, again, what do you do with him unless you're going to really start an Andrade-Carmelo feud after this? But
which I kind of feel, didn't we get that?
We got we got a 7-match series between them.
Yeah. So it was a 7-match. What are we doing? But I guess it was more of the storytelling that we were talking about. That's why it got left for them to be the last two, which was perfectly fine. I was cool with it.
Yeah. Like I said last time, they're using the Andre the Giant Battle Royal to elevate people into the last year. The winner was Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed had a great run all year long last year up until he shattered his ankle at Survivor Series. So you're using that Battle Royal WrestleMania weekend now as the jumping point for new stars the way they used to use the Royal Rumble. So I'm okay with it. Hopefully Melo has a good year. Hopefully they push him. I know he's in a tag team right now. Eventually him and Miz are going to split up and he's going to be, he's going to be a single star. I think I've always thought he has the potential to main event of WrestleMania like one day. He has everything that you want in a professional wrestler in 2025.
I just, again, really, to your point, I think it's really dope that it's getting us to be invested in the battle royale, because
Uh-huh.
years past it was trash. And even to start the match last night, when I saw that the majority of the contenders were all tag team,
Uh-huh.
I was like, what is this? I was like, this is just a throwaway match, it's not gonna really and then immediately we saw, wait a second, they're doing something different here. And it
Uh-huh.
was really dope. It was very captivating. The move sets that were being used, everybody had a spot. It was really dope. It was really
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it was a really good match. So we get that, and we didn't talk about Chad Gable was all over this episode of SmackDown. So Chad Gable gets attacked by all the luchadors and throws out of the match.
He returns.
Phoenix, he returns as El Grande Americano because Phoenix was in the final three.
Which was
And I thought
literally
Phoenix,
it was a few minutes later too.
he got to the back and he changed. I don't even think he changed his gear. I think he just put like a jumpsuit on and put a mask on. Because he wasn't wearing his El Grande Americano gear. He just looked like he was like in like a janitor's jumpsuit with the El Grande mask.
Yep.
But he comes out and he costs Rey Fenix the match.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Fenix is going for like a springboard, whatever, and Chad Gable grabs him by the ankle and pulls him over the top rope and gets him eliminated. And I thought to myself, why is he attacking Rey Fenix? And it's just because Chad Gable hates luchadors. He doesn't care about Rey Fenix. He just said, "There's a luchador in the final three. I need to cost him this."
Yep.
So. But it'd be great because hopefully El Grande wins tonight, and then you can do a Chad Gable or El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix feud.
No,
And I think that would be
absolutely
great.
agree. The only thing is, again, because of that at the end of the match, it kind of threw off everything I've been saying, which is I want Dragon Lee and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
That's clearly not going to be the next feud, which I think it should be. But clearly they're going to do something with Rey Fenix and Chad Gable, El Grande Americano.
Yeah, because it led into a 6-man tag match later in the night between Chad Gable and the Creeds versus Phoenix, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio, in which Phoenix got the pinfall over one of the Creeds. Doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which one.
They're interchangeable.
Skinny Creed and Brutus Creed. There's Brutus and Julius, but Skinny Creed and Fat Creed.
Yeah.
So then we get is that when we get the promo segments for? Oh no, we got the women's segment next. All right, so not Bianca. Who was the first one out?
It was
Rhea.
It was
Rhea, because she was cutting the promo. So Rhea comes out. She's cutting the promo. She's talking about how this is her most important WrestleMania match ever. How she's been on 6 manias, and by the way, she's been on 6 manias already. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is her 6th WrestleMania and her 5th going for a championship or something like that. She's been at the top of that card forever. And she's immediately interrupted by Io Sky. Io Sky gets into the ring and she goes to talk, and the disrespect continues. Oh my God, Bianca! As soon as Io brought the things to her mouth, Bianca's music hits and just starts dancing her way down the ring.
Not even a whimper was able to come out. She didn't even get to go like nothing came out before Bianca came out. The disrespect is 1,000% there, and as we both say, Io needs to win this match.
100%.
Just based off principle. Of course, the segment starts with ends with them all fighting.
Yeah, well, Bianca starts cutting a promo on Rhea again, ignoring Io.
Mm-hmm.
And while she's cutting a promo on Rhea, Trinity Fatu, Naomi. Thank you. I couldn't remember her name for a second. Trinity. Naomi's music hits, and she starts coming, and she comes out and she starts arguing with Bianca about how Bianca hasn't spoken to her since Jade's return.
which I think was really dope that they continued that, because it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that kind of fell to the background
Yep.
because Bianca's been in the triple threat feud.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like, hey, by the way, immediately when this is over, you got to deal with this.
Yeah. Naomi comes on. She goes, "Oh, you're gonna come to SmackDown and you're not gonna talk to me?" And I was just like, "Oh, okay, we're going here." So they're arguing in the middle of the ring. Rhea and Io are just watching and laughing. And eventually, Jade Cargill comes out, and Bianca does the "I'm gonna get between my two friends" thing. No one's fighting in front of me, even though she hasn't, because she hasn't picked a side between them, which pissed Jade off. So Jade and Bianca are arguing, and then for some reason, Rhea gets in the middle and starts yelling at Jade. This whole segment was fun to watch, but I was just like, "What is happening?" So eventually, everybody starts brawling. There's 6 women. Everybody starts five women. Everybody starts brawling, and and security comes out to try to separate everybody. And
Mind you,
Io still
I was going to say,
hasn't spoken.
hasn't spoken, hasn't dropped the mic. She's still standing there. She just moved back and she let
There's
everything else happen around her. And she was
She's the
just
only
still
champion
waiting.
in that ring.
Yep.
She's the only champion in that ring. She hasn't said a word, and yet there's 2 different stories going on that she's not really a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is everybody's fighting, everybody's feuding. Jada and Naomi kind of fight off to the side on the ramp, and Io gets on the top rope and hits a moonsault to take out security, Rhea, and Bianca. And then she gets up and does her Io celebrating thing, while in the background you still see Naomi and Jade brawling. Like, I watched this, I'm like, what is happening in this thing? It was the segment was really fun. It was good to connect everything, because we said, if it's not going to be Io, Bianca's going to win this match.
Yep.
There's no way Rhea wins this match
At all.
because of how she got into it, because of how she whined and complained to get into the match.
Yep.
If Bianca wins,
Mm-hmm.
she has a built-in story with Naomi right there for the title.
Yep.
We don't, but I think, and you said this last night, Naomi's going to cost her this match.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Just because, again, she's so distraught and so upset with the fact that Bianca is so focused on the title and has put their friendship off to the side completely, and taken the side of Jade, so to speak. She's not mentally right now. She's kind of going into that crazy mindset. You see the blades and everything in her hair. She's coming out with the caution tape all over her outfit or whatever. She's not in her right mindset. So all she sees right now is Bianca does not care about me after everything that I've done for her. She's gonna get that lick back, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a Sunday match. So we're gonna have the Jade Naomi match tonight, and then that's the Sunday match. So Naomi will be on both shows, which is pretty dope. In her real first WrestleMania back, I know she was on last year's Mania, but her real first Mania back from her TNA run, that she's prominently featured on both nights of Mania. It's really good for her. If we're right, because she's been there her and Natalia, they've been there for so long that those 2 women deserve flowers and everything that they get.
100% agree with you.
All right, so we get that. And then we get the tag team championship match. It was a fun match. You knew these 2 teams were gonna show out. You had Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns, and I was never a fan of him in NXT, but the more and more I watch Angelo Dawkins work, that dude is so good.
Yes,
and we talk about Montez Ford needing a singles push, because I think he's got everything, especially the charisma. But Angelo Dawkins, being as big as he is, as athletic as he is, it's insane. He was running those ropes. He was hitting hurdles over people. Like, he's 260 pounds, and he's doing crazy things in the ring. And then you have the Machine Guns, and if you, like me, who watched them for 15 years, they're one of the most fluid tag teams as far as innovating tag team offenses you'll ever see. This match was really fun. A lot of high flying moves, a lot of tag team offense. The spot where Montez, I always love it, where he jumps over the ring post from inside the ring to outside the ring is always amazing. Um, Unfortunately, it ended in a DQ. We did not get a winner. Why? Because Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa just cannot leave well enough alone. They're somewhat what becoming conspiracy theorists, thinking everybody's out to get them, and that no one's giving them what they believe is rightfully theirs, which is the tag team titles. So they come out, they attack both teams, and they steal the tag team championships.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to the back, and eventually Nick Aldis is there with the Street Profits and security at the back gate to stop Gargano and Ciampa from leaving with the titles. So then you have Motor City Machine Guns show up, and everybody's arguing. And Nick Aldis takes the titles from DIY, and he says, next week on SmackDown, we're going to take these titles and we're going to elevate them above the ring, and we're going to get a TLC match, a 3-team TLC match for the tag team championships.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that and I was like, that's dope, because none of these teams are going to be on WrestleMania.
Yep.
You showcased 2 of them. We showcased them all last night on WrestleMania SmackDown, but now you're going to give them a prominent tag team championship match in one of the most fun. We remember the Hardy, Edge, and Christian Dudley TLC matches of 25 years ago. This is going to be the main event next week. They should give these teams 40 minutes in that match and just let them do all types of crazy nonsense. Montez in a TLC match is going to be insane.
Oh, yeah. The way that guy loves to go flying around, hell yeah.
Which is crazy because he says he's afraid of heights. He was doing an interview. He said, I'm afraid of heights. So every time I get up on the turnbuckle, I try to go as high as I can. So that way I can overcome my fear.
That's insane.
That's what he said.
That's insane.
Because he gets some height on that frog splash.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for this match next week. I think it's going to be really great. I can't see the Street Profits losing.
Me neither.
I think they need. Yeah, this is only their second tag team championship reign ever.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it's been 5 years.
That.
And it was 5 years since their first one.
Wow. Yeah, it's too early.
Yeah. All right. So we got that, and then we got Randy Orton coming out and cutting his promo, very similar to what he said to Nick Aldis last week. My first WrestleMania was at WrestleMania 21, 20 years ago at Madison Square Garden. This will be my 20th match at WrestleMania. I'm going to be on the show on Sunday. There's going to be an open challenge. And he says, doesn't matter if you wrestle for this company, doesn't matter if you wrestle for another company, doesn't matter if you own a pair of wrestling boots. Show up on Sunday and have a match, because you're going to feel the most three dangerous letters in the WWE universe, RKO. So we're going to get Randy Orton in an open challenge Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying it should be Rusev.
Mm-hmm. And you've been adamant that you want Rusev to return. And you want him to return at WrestleMania.
Well, he's signed already.
No, I know. I'm saying, and you want him to return at WrestleMania. And you've been on this Rusev train the last few weeks. I agree with that. I think it should be Rusev if you give it to anybody. There's nobody on the main roster right now necessarily that isn't caught up in something or is, missing out. Like almost everybody that deserves to be on the card is on the card. So I do believe it makes the most sense to bring somebody back that's returning on that WrestleMania card. We already got Aleister Black coming next week, allegedly.
Yeah, on Friday.
So you might as well do something big, get a big pop for Rusev at WrestleMania. And if it's not him, we talked about who we would like to see. Do you remember?
No. Oh, Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. Yeah.
Joe Hendry, yeah. That'd be cool.
Especially since he said anybody, any promotion, anywhere, lace up your boots, but that would be dope. It would be great for TNA.
Oh, 100%.
It would be great for TNA, and again, that open door that they have right now is just ridiculous. To have somebody debut to the masses on WrestleMania for another company, that just goes to show like where we are. Because in the Vince era, I would never see something like that happening.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So I imagine if that were to take place, what that means for the entire industry.
Yeah, 100%. And Joe Hendry has been you can make the argument he's been, other than like Cody Rhodes, he's been like the most over wrestler for the last 18 months in any promotion. His theme song, his TNA theme song, spiked to like number 7 on the UK Billboard 100.
Yep.
Like it's a wrestling theme song. When does that ever happen?
Never.
So yeah, he's been great, and I want Rusev because I think he would get the biggest pop from wrestling fans, especially the in crowd audience. I think you risk. I would Joe Hendry, the home crowd, the people watching online on Netflix, would pop. I think you would risk the fans in the audience, or some of the fans in the audience, not knowing who this is, because the WrestleMania prices have been so ridiculous this year that I don't think you're getting the traditional WrestleMania audience in the crowd. I think you're getting a lot of business people. I think you're getting a lot of people who got their tickets given to them. I think you're getting a lot of people, a lot of casuals are going to be in Vegas for Mania. So you're going to see, I think you're going to see them cheering and booing babyface and heel lines. And like, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Joe Hendry would get the pop that Rusev would get at Mania.
Again, it should be Rusev, but if it's not, we would
Joe Hendry
like
would be
to
great.
see Joe Hendry.
Yeah. All right. So then we get a rematch of last week's debacle. Zelina Vega. I just called them a debacle this time because it was. They got
no. I'm rolling my eyes because the fact that we had to do a redo, like that was ridiculous.
Yes.
And you saw how quick this match went.
Oh, it was a 5-minute match, I think.
My only question is, why did they deem it so necessary to have this match? It could have just been left the way it was last week. I understand that there was a botch, but why was it so important that we had this match and have it play out the same way?
The question, I think the argument is, if you want to give Zelina Vega the championship match, she needs to get a pinfall victory over Chelsea Green. That's the only thing I can understand. Because last week she got a count-out victory over Chelsea Green because either Chelsea messed up or the referee messed up.
Yeah.
They redid the match, and she got the pinfall victory last night.
Yeah.
So now she can get the real United States Championship match. So they wanted to spotlight the women. They wanted to actually show the finish the way it should have been last week. I'm okay with that. But it was a 5-minute match. It wasn't a great match. Zelina's so good in the ring. Chelsea's so great at her character work. Really fun either way. But it was a good match. Zelina gets the win out of Code Red. 3 count. Secret Hervis, I guess that's what we're going with them for them. Secret Hervis was banned from ringside by Nick Aldis, so we didn't get the cheating from Chelsea Green. Sucks that Chelsea Green's not going to be on Mania because I think she's been great. I think she deserved. If there's a woman not named Rhea Io Bianca who deserved to be on Mania this year, it was Chelsea Green. Everything she's done, even though she's a comedy act and she's a Weasley heel who doesn't win ever without, she is the female Miz. Everything she does, she makes it entertaining. She's defended that title on NXT. She's defended it on SmackDown. She's defended it in multiple places. She's been working. So I would wanted to see her get a true WrestleMania match. But this was a good match. We're gonna get the title shot at some point. Do we think Zelina Vega has any shot at winning this championship?
No.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it I think it was last week or the week before.
Last week, yeah.
Where basically I said, if you're going to do something with her, put the title on her. If you're not going to do nothing and you're just going to waste our time, just leave it with Chelsea because she's doing great work. I personally believe they're not going to do anything with her. I believe that they're going to leave it on Chelsea. And plus, it's still too early for Chelsea to lose it anyway. And for what? Granted, Chelsea losing the belt at this point in time, I don't believe hurts her. I believe her character work is so strong right now that she'll be able to endure that loss. And it would be nice to see her kind of chasing it in that character. As far as Zelina could use that because right now there's nothing going on with her. There's nothing going on with the LWO. There's nothing to get you excited about for her character or anything she's doing. She needs the belt, but I don't think they're gonna pull that trigger.
I agree. I agree with you. Um, next we get the Aleister Black, what we think is the Aleister Black teaser, and then it ends with 425-25, which is next week on SmackDown. So we believe Aleister Black will re-debut on SmackDown next week, which is really great. He's under Triple H. I think he could do some really good work with him.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. Standard match. These guys have good chemistry. Because remember last year when Solo was in the Bloodline, he lost 37 straight matches on house shows to LA Knight. So they know each other pretty well. Eventually, Jacob Fatu. What's up?
I just wanted to mention that before this match, in the beginning of the night,
yes,
LA Knight jumped. What's his name?
Tama
Tonga, so that he wouldn't be a factor in this match.
Yes.
So that's why it was legit going to be a one-on-one match. Unfortunately for LA Knight, he forgot that it's a 3-member squad.
Correct, because eventually the Samoan werewolf just decides, I don't care about this match, and he just makes his presence known. Comes out, attacks LA Knight. They get a 2-on-1 attack, and then you get Braun Strowman's music hits. Stumbles to the ring like a clumsy giant. Sorry, bro. Like it just hurts to watch him run.
I know.
He runs to the ring. They clear the ring. Nick Aldis comes out. He goes, you know what? We're gonna make this a tag match. So we get LA Knight and Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa basically dominate this match. I made the point during the match. Braun Strowman is 6'8", 350. Why is he taking so much damage? Why is he taking so much punishment? Why is LA Knight the one getting the hot tag? Why is the giant on the floor? Like the booking of this match didn't make any sense. I know you're trying to make Jacob Fatu a monster and this guy that everybody should be afraid of, but you can't have your legitimate giant monster get beat down like this every week.
Yeah. It is.
So the finish.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He should be going out there and just demolishing. He should not. I understood when they were doing it with Bronson Reed. You understand? Because you were doing it because, number one, it's monster versus monster, but also you were elevating Bronson Reed. Like, it made sense that they would go back and forth and that he would be constantly being beaten because eventually you want him to overcome that and so on and so forth. That's storytelling. What they've been doing lately with him doesn't make sense to me. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
He's there just to put Jacob Fatu over.
Essentially. That's exactly what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, you want it to be the case because you're trying to build him up, but you don't want it to be so obvious that that's what we're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Jacob Fatu he looks indestructible.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks Umaga levels of indestructible.
Which is why we said if he doesn't win tonight, we are going to be shocked.
If that'll shock me the most of any match if he does not win.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Cody, I would be less shocked if Cody won, than Jacob Fatu because he's gonna win that match. Eventually the hot tag comes. LA Knight, Braun Strowman hits LA Knight with the hot tag, and I said this during the match. LA Knight's gonna pin Solo Sikoa for this to make him look strong. You're not gonna make Jacob Fatu lose tonight. No. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Braun Strowman does his little run around the ring, blasts Solo onto the announce desk. LA Knight hilariously tries to push him and doesn't. And he looked like a baby trying to touch him. Like he tried to push him off the announce desk and he couldn't do it. So he gets into the ring, hits the BFT on Solo Sikoa and gets a 3 count. And then you get the moment of him standing on the turnbuckle, holding his championship while Jacob Fatu stands on the announce desk, looking menacingly at him. Jacob Fatu's winning this match tonight. Like he's going to be the United States champion. He's going to have a reign of terror over SmackDown until they eventually decide to take it off of him and put him in the main event scene. So he's going to be their next big giant heel.
No, I agree.
I was waiting for you to say something. I was waiting for you to say something while I get to the next match.
No, I agree. I feel like we said enough about it, but
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. They're setting him up to be the next thing to have to be overcome in the main event scene.
All right. So we already said this. We got the LWO plus Rey Fenix versus American Made match made earlier in the night. Super fun match again. These guys are just flying all over the place. Phoenix is moving so fast compared to everybody else. Julius Creed is so good. Brutus is a giant flying cannonball. And you can't say enough about Chad Gable. Like every time he's in the ring, he's so fluid. He's so good.
But again, he was all over this show last night. He was everywhere.
I think he was on 4 or 5 segments.
Yeah, he's either in segments, matches. Like this guy was literally everywhere. And again, he's playing 2 characters.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. Right now, he's getting a massive push.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that he's well deserving. It's not like he's getting a massive push and he's not deserving of it. This guy has been doing the work. We've said it for months that he's underutilized, underrated, and now he's getting exactly what he deserves. So congrats to him.
Yeah, and tonight's match would be El Grande Americano. So you'll see Chad Gable against Rey Mysterio, but unfortunately, towards the end of the match, Rey hits I think he hit a 619 or hit a splash.
Was it even the end? I feel like it was pretty.
It was like 4. It was like 5 minutes remainder in the match because that's when Dragon Lee and Phoenix started going crazy.
Okay.
It was like in the middle of the match. Rey gets pulled out of the ring by Julius Creed, and I don't know if it was on the landing or Creed did something.
It looked like it was that landing. Like I said, he hit the floor really hard. And then after that, you see if you watch just the background because it's hard because you're watching
all the luchadors
flying around. But when we replayed it, if you watch, he limps all the way around to the ring. He gets down on the floor and he never gets back up.
Yeah,
then
So apparently he had to be carried out of the arena. He didn't walk away on his own.
So when you mentioned it earlier, that's exactly what, because I forgot about that. So I was Googling to find out. Right now, his match is in jeopardy of getting cut because he legitimately got hurt last night. So it's a question of whether or not we're even going to have that match. And if we don't have that match, what do they do? Do they extend other matches or do they create and add another match to the show?
I mean, we spoke about this last night. I think, well, let's finish up the match first. Phoenix and Dragon Lee towards the end looked great.
Yep.
They looked amazing. And Dragon Lee, I've said this all the time, he's a great wrestler. I almost thought that I was watching it last night with you, and I was like, if they wanted to do a tag team with these 2 guys, they just look the part.
Yep.
And they won't do that because obviously you have Phoenix and you have Penta on the other show. So you're not going to do a tag team with Dragon Lee. But if you wanted to do a tag team with Dragon Lee and Phoenix, that would be amazing because those 2 guys could work, and I think they'd be so good together. But Phoenix gets the pinfall victory over one of the Creeds. I think it was Julius after hitting that muscle buster thing. Mexican muscle buster, I think they're calling it. I don't remember. But he gets the win. But we spoke about this. If Rey can't make it tonight, and I know you want to push Dragon Lee.
I do.
But they would put Rey Fenix in that match.
I know what they'll do. I just don't agree with it. I think you need to put, again, because the whole thing is he's being disrespectful to luchadors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to put one or the other, right? The argument for me is Rey's out. He's part of the LWO. Dragon Lee, part of the LWO. If Rey's out, he needs to be the one to step up.
I agree. Your logic makes sense.
Rey Fenix, though, now upon reflection, you can make the argument that he needs to replace Rey because of last night, how he got eliminated from the Battle Royale by Grande Americano.
Yeah, they kind of booked themselves into that by accident because you don't expect Ray to get hurt, but now you have that. You
Yeah.
have that earlier in the night that El Grande Americano did cost Ray Phoenix to
The
Andre
only
Giant.
the only thing with that is though, D is if Ray ends up being the one that fights El
Oh,
Grande
he's gonna win.
Americano. No, no, no,
He's gonna win.
not even that. Right? Penta's not on Penta's on the card or Penta? Oh no, Penta is on the
He's on
card.
Sunday. But he's on the Sunday show. He's still gonna be in Vegas.
But that's what I'm saying. That way you have both brothers. That would be the other argument is you have both brothers on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he's on the Sunday show, the Intercontinental title match.
So I would just do it at this point in time. I would just
Yeah, but if you're putting a Ray Phoenix in there, it's like we've talked about this. We thought Chad Gable was going to win that match, even if whatever, or if Ray won the match. You were saying, oh, he's going to try to unmask him, and then he tried to weasel his way out.
yeah.
If you're putting Ray Phoenix in that match, he's winning the match. Like you're not gonna have Chad Gable lose. I mean, you're not gonna have Ray Phoenix lose.
I agree with you, but if he did take the L, it's not like it hurts him. It would be his first
Yeah,
loss.
yeah, but he's only been here 3 weeks.
I understand that, but there's such a mystique about him, and they've been pushing him to the moon. So if he lost tonight, but then you start that feud up officially between those two, because Ray, we don't know the extent of that injury. He might be out for a
Hmm.
while. So if that's the
Yeah.
case, then you just bump up that feud. And Ray
Ooh.
Phoenix kind of, again, because then, which the other point that I'm just getting lost. There's so much to this. There's so many different
Hmm.
levels to it. What do you do with the LWO if
I
Ray's
was
not
thinking
there?
the same thing right now. I was just going through my head. If Ray's not there, the LWO's. I mean,
Because
you just have them just do. You just said they're just a tag team on Raw. You
eh,
have them just have random tag matches on Raw because you won't be able to really do storyline wise with them unless they're in nice tag division.
yep.
That's it. Um, so then we get the main event segment, and I thought this was really good from both guys.
Hmm.
John Cena and Cody Rhodes face to face. John Cena being super super disrespectful again,
Hmm.
calling him kid. Um, just a whole lot. My main takeaway from this entire thing was all Cody did really was call John Cena old.
Old and pale.
Old and pale. He made the reference to Sting Starcast 1997, which if you've ever watched WCW pay-per-views, that was the night Sting beat Hulk Hogan to take the WCW championship back from the NWO. And everybody hates it because Sting didn't tan for that match. Sting was out of shape. Sting was whatever. Steve Borden at that point, he's wrote about it in his book. He was going through a divorce and he was so unmotivated. And it was his first match in over a year because the Crow character never had a match. He would just come down and beat people with a bat. So he was out of shape for his match against Hogan. Anyways, Cody makes that reference, basically calling Cena old, basically saying you don't care as much as you used to. You don't care about the fans. You don't care to show up. You don't care to tan. You don't care. Your skin is falling off your face. He basically calls him Hollywood's bitch. He said you're walking around on the Oscars naked in front of everybody. You're going in and grabbing water for everybody else now. He goes, you're not the same guy who did everything here. You're sucking up to everybody there just to get ahead. This is a really good promo. Eventually Cody gets the better of him. John Cena looks at him and he goes, oh, and he goes, and you've been here 25 years. Cody goes to Cena. He goes, you've been here 25 years and you still can't wrestle.
Hmm.
Which was a great line.
Hmm.
And Cena goes, oh, I don't need to learn how to wrestle to beat you. And he thumbs him in the eye and tries to hit him with an AA. Cody gets him with a crossroads. Cody stands tall over Cena again.
Again.
So
How many times did I make that remark? You're not going to have Cena lose tonight after getting the better of him the last two encounters,
Yeah,
having him laid out on the floor.
and
Because
yes, and Cena. All Cena said to Cody tonight to really get under Cody's skin was, I didn't think I could beat you.
Mhm,
I didn't think I could beat you until you told The Rock no. Because once you did that, once you told The Rock no, I realized you're soft, basically. You're
mhm,
not good. You're going to do everything for them instead of doing what you need to do to win. So
mhm,
on Sunday, Cody, are you going to do what you need to do to win? And I thought, and so did your cousin. When he said that, it just maybe was like, are they planting seeds for a Cody turn on Sunday? Because if Cena's telling him you need to not care about what other people think and you
mhm,
need to do what's necessary to win, that's heelish behavior.
mhm.
I don't think it happens because again, you don't shoot the golden goose. So, but
Not now, anyway.
too early.
Way too early. And again, what are you gonna? Essentially, you're saying, what are we doing? The double turn? It just
I think you would have to do a double turn,
the
and I think it's too early in Cena's
heel
year
run.
long
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's way too early for Cena to flip back. I don't think the fans would take that.
no, I think that's a Survivor Series or after SummerSlam thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Cody would turn heel anyway. Cena's gonna win tomorrow night. I'm sorry, on Sunday, and he's gonna get number 17. He's going to parade that championship around everywhere. He's gonna take it to Hollywood with him, just almost like how Logan Paul took the United States Championship with him everywhere. He's gonna take the title with him everywhere. He's gonna show up on
If you're gonna use an example like that, please use Bad Bunny. Do not lose Logan Paul. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Logan Paul was United States champion.
I don't
Bad Bunny
care.
was the 24/7 champion.
Don't care. As a Puerto Rican, use the Bad Bunny reference. The fact that he took it everywhere, including award shows, versus Logan Paul walking around with that title. I hate that, man. I don't think you understand how much I hate that as a person. I hate that person.
I get it, but
Don't use him as an example for anything other than crappiness.
all right. So Cena's gonna win. Cena's gonna parade that title around uh, for the next few months. And it's gonna. And this is how you book Cody anyway, because what made Cody special in the fans' eyes was, oh, he's back. We love him, and it was the Roman feud. It was the 2 year story of him trying to get that championship.
Yeah.
And then he won the championship. I remember I was saying this last year at 40. It's like, all right, but now what do you do? The
Yeah.
story's over.
Hmm.
And he's been a decent champion,
Hmm.
but there have been times in his reign for the last year where you knew he wasn't losing.
Yeah.
The only time I had an inkling of doubt that I thought he might lose was to Kevin Owens at the
Hmm.
ladder match. And
And even then,
even then, like, that would have shocked me. He's going to lose because you want Cody to chase for the years that Cena is heel. So that way, when he wins it and saves the championship for the fans, that moment is going to be crazy. So that's the only booking logic I can see coming out of this match. Cody is how do I describe him? He's not Homelander, but he's he's so Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes right now that you have to book him old school. So, what do you think about the segment? What do you think about the verbal exchange between Cody and Cena? Who do you think won the verbal exchange?
I still say Cena won the verbal exchange. I just think that Cody actually stood with him this time. It
Okay,
wasn't like Cena just verbally destroyed him like he has in the past. Um, I think he stuck with him this time. That's the
okay,
only difference. I don't think in any of their promos together, I don't think Cody's gotten one up on him. I just think this time he actually stood there toe to toe. He didn't get destroyed. He was there.
okay. Yeah, I mean, and he stood tall at the end. It was a great way to punctuate the segment, punctuate the night. the SmackDown before Mania. That crowd is going to be so disappointed on Sunday. Like, it's going to be WrestleMania 39 all over again. The level of hatred, they're going to go off the air. They're going to be so upset.
Yep.
The only thing that's going to save them is the Jey Uso pop earlier in the night. Wait, no, that's tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight.
That's tonight.
No, that's it. That's how we're gonna end the show.
No, I'm just saying, it's like you're going to have that show end the 2-night thing, and you're not going to give the crowd something earlier in the night to really celebrate.
Nope.
Unless Rhea actually wins. Like, that's...
And just like Cena would say, they don't deserve to celebrate, Derek. They don't deserve it. They deserve to go home feeling the way they're about to feel. We don't deserve the title to be on the show. That's not what we deserve. We deserve Monday night to start off the night with John Cena holding up that belt, telling us how we'll never see it again. That is what we deserve.
What I think's gonna what I would do if I were booking it is John Cena comes out with that belt and gets rid of it, and then reveals a new spinner belt.
That'd be hilarious.
Reveals a new WWE spinner belt.
That would be hilarious because he did say that he's going to give us a toy.
Yeah.
That is not a real championship, that the lineage is done. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, yo.
And they updated spinner belt.
I was going to say, and they'd have to do it anyway because it's a new style of belt. The WWE symbol is different. So, oh my God. If you call that,
if that happens,
if that happens, whoo, I'm gonna clip it and it's gonna be all over our socials, sir.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this show, guys. We appreciate you, everybody. Happy WrestleMania weekend. I actually saw it. I actually was at work earlier today and I saw a dude with his daughter all wearing Roman Reigns t-shirts, and I literally looked at him and said, "Happy WrestleMania weekend." He goes, "You too," and just laughed. So there are wrestling fans everywhere. You just don't know when you're looking at them in plain sight. Happy WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be, like we said, it's going to be a great 2 days of wrestling. If you're seeing this and you have not watched NXT Stand and Deliver, go watch that as well because the women's division there is on fire. So that match is going to be great. That show is going to be great. WrestleMania is tonight at 7. Hopefully we'll get this up before then. WrestleMania is tonight at 7. WrestleMania Night 2 is tomorrow at 7. Enjoy. Have a great time. And we will see you guys on Monday for a WrestleMania review for both nights. We're not doing a night 1 and a night 2 review. We're going to review both nights in one episode because there's too much going on. Too much going on. Because then we got to do one on Tuesday for Raw after Mania. So we'll see you guys Monday for our WrestleMania review. Stay safe. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Deuces.